What's up, you guys? My name is Lauren, and today I'm going to be talking about my thoughts on the Otto Warmbier case. I am living in Ohio, so this case hit a little close to home, so I'm going to start off from the beginning. Otto Warmbier was a University of Virginia student who got the chance while studying in China to take a trip to North Korea. This wasn't his first trip, it was his third. So upon arriving on his 5-day trip, the other people he was traveling with said he was well behaved. He acted like a typical 21-year-old on vacation, and that a lot of people suspected he'd be the last person on the list to cause trouble. He wasn't overly political, he wasn't voicing his opinions on the nation itself, but on his last day there, upon arriving at the airport, he was taken into custody by the North Korean government. In the early hours of January 1st, Otto supposedly snuck down to a authorized user only floor. It was only for the hotel employees, and took down a big, large metal sign that had some propaganda writing on it, something along the lines of believe in their former leader or take the power from him. I'm not sure the exact quote, but I'll leave it down below. So he took down the sign, and that's where the video cuts off. It doesn't show him trying to carry it off. It doesn't show him putting it back up. It doesn't show him trying to destroy it in any means. It literally just shows him pulling it down. And as for the figure, you can see it pulling down. You cannot tell it is Otto. Upon getting arrested, he later had a trial. His trial only lasted 1 hour long, the entire trial. And during that trial, he gave a statement, kind of giving his reasoning behind it. So I'm going to read. The statement's kind of long, bear with me. But I'm going to read that statement and further discuss my thoughts on this. Start off by saying, growing up in the United States, I was taught that DPR Korea is a mysterious, isolated communist nation from the mass media and education. This made innocent-minded, adventurous young men like myself want to show my bravery to improve my reputation and show Western victory over DPR Korea. I will now discuss the Z Society and its encouragement of my crime. The Z Society is the most secret organization at UVA, which is also known as University of Virginia. All members and activities are strictly confidential. I first came to know of the Z Society in September 2013 when I started the university. I saw large Z crests painted on all the buildings of the compound. You can see them if you visit the University of Virginia. I was told that they are from the Z Society, since the society donates millions of dollars to the university. The Z Society has around 10 student members currently, and after graduation they go on to become very wealthy with jobs in politics, business, and religion. Members of the Z Society include former U.S. President Woodrow Wilson and the former head of the CIA. The stated objective of the Z Society is to spread freedom and eliminate tyranny. In order to become members, they must have good grades and leadership, and most importantly, they must commit a brave act to help the society's stated objective. Once again, all members and activities are strictly confidential. It is well clear that the Z Society knew of my good grades and leadership. It was also clear they knew I would eagerly want to join the society in order to solve my family's desperate financial problems. Because the Z Society expected me to commit a brave act to help eliminate tyranny. In order to prove my braveness to the Z Society, I committed a crime in the DPR Korea with hopes of joining the Z Society. As you know from the Cold War era example, the CIA has been leading an anti-communism in every place in the world. There is no doubt that the Z Society's encouragement of the crime. Lastly, I want to clearly state that I was a political victim of the United States' consistent hostile policy against the DPR Korea. I wish the United States administration never manipulate people like myself in the future to commit crimes against foreign countries. I entirely beg you, the people and the government of the DPRK, for your forgiveness. Please, I made the worst mistake of my life. A lot of his statements were very iffy and did not sound like a typical 22-year-old, 21-year-old. He put in a statement that he purposely packed his best sneaking boots, which does not sound like any 21-year-old that I know would talk about their best sneaking boots. And he also talked about how the government has been pushing anti-communism for years, and how his goal in mind by taking down that sign was to help rock the beliefs of the North Korean people. Now, the Z Society is considered a semi-secret organization of the University of Virginia. Supposedly, they only have 10 members, and the members cannot reveal their membership until at graduation, and they wear a special ring at graduation just to let people know that they were in the Z Society. Supposedly, a lot of these members have connections to the CIA, they're in higher level positions, and it's kind of a society that a lot of people want to aim to be in. Now, according to the Z Society, they had no contact with Otto, and no one had ever told him to commit this crime. He also had a different story. His other story was the United Friendship Methodist Church, something along those lines, told him to get this sign in exchange for a $10,000 used car. And then there was also another statement that said that his mom would receive $200,000 from the church if he never returned from Korea. So there was a bunch of different stories coming around from different statements that Otto made. And a lot of people, including myself, kind of believed that this confession was coerced, but I can also see how it can line up to be truthful too. In order for the Korean government to know these secret societies, either Otto had to tell them or they had to really do in-depth research about his home life, that he went to University of Virginia, and find a secret organization that had beliefs that would line up with what Otto's statement was supposed to say. So that was a lot of work that they would have to put into the statement. When he walked in and gave his statement, he had these note cards and was basically reading off them while crying. Now, in the past, previous Korean prisoners, American prisoners in Korea is what I'm trying to say, have made statements in the past that they have been coerced to say certain things in their trials in exchange for either a lighter sentence or the possibility of freedom. So that may have been in the case, but despite the statement he gave, he was sentenced to 15 years in a hard labor camp. So he started his sentence 17 months ago. So he spent 17 months in this hard labor camp. His parents had no connection to him. He wasn't allowed to contact them. They had no clue about his statement they had no clue about his well-being, basically. It later came out that he was in a coma, and the US government pushed to get him back. The Korean government claims that he had a run of botulism and took a sleeping pill, and that's what put him in a coma. But upon arriving back in the United States, he was tested and there was no sign of botulism either currently or previously in his body. So they do not believe that's what happened. They believe that he had some form of heart attack, and which is very rare in a young, fit 21-year-old, especially if he was working in this labor camp. He would have probably been in better shape than he was at home. But it just all depends on how he was being treated, how often he was being fed. He could have even been given a drug to induce this heart attack that they believe put him in this coma. He died 6 days after arriving back from Korea. His family has released statements that they believe he knew he was in the United States, but the doctor said he was in a non-responsive yet aware state, so he could see his surroundings and know where he was at, but he could not speak, he could not move, he could not do any bodily functions really. He was basically being kept alive by his machines. When the University of Virginia spokesperson was asked about the Z Society and the statement that Otto released in his press conference after being sentenced, he said that he knew of the society, but he could not comment on it. And that's something that kind of looks very iffy to me. Not only does it look like a cop-out, but it looks like they don't really know the true inner workings of this society. And I feel like if it was actually a donor that was donating these millions of dollars, I feel like I would want to know more information on where this money is coming from, who's in this organization. But the Z Society has still maintained that they have not asked Otto to pull it down and that he was not a member, which kind of lines up with his story because he said he was not going to get membership until he did this brave act. Otto was only 22 years old when he died, but now the American government is pushing to get our other 3 prisoners that are still being kept in North Korean jails sent back home. Now we currently don't know how they're being treated, how their jail system works because North Korea is so secretive and not our friend. We're kind of polar opposites. During Otto's trial, he did everything through the Sweden embassy. So the Sweden embassy was representing Otto on the behalf of the United States because our government ties are so strained that it's not good. I don't know if the Korean government set Otto up for this. I don't know if Otto did it to really get into the Z Society, but I do know this is a very fishy case, and the lack of information from both sides is what bothers me. So that is my thoughts on the Otto Warmbier case. Let me know whether you think that he did it on the behalf of the North Korean government to kind of promote their message, or if you think he released that statement because he really was trying to get in the Z Society. So let me know your thoughts down below. If you have any other cases you'd like me to cover, you can also leave a comment down below. And if you like this comment, you can subscribe to my channel. I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.